the Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristan Law, some retired pro wrestler, and today, I'm your host. We're not just breaking down matches today. We're talking about Survivor Series, WarGames, San Diego 2025. Survivor Series, let me tell you about it. That might have changed WWE's whole direction for 2026. We got returns. We got twists. We got title changes. We got mystery attackers. Today, last night, it felt like WWE is telling you, pay attention, we're setting up for the next era. Just want to let you guys know that Jess is not here today. She's a little bit under the weather. Jess feel well soon. Jess will be here tomorrow. But what I want you guys to do is get your match of the night, moment of the night, and your wrestler of the night ready, because we are going to be talking about that later on. Think about who it's going to be. It's live. It's interactive. The chat's already going. I see it going. Universal's here. Fernando's here. What's going on? And we also got a poll. In the poll, I want to know, what is your favorite match of the night? And tell me why in the comments. You got 4 matches you can pick from. Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella, the women's WarGames match, the men's WarGames match, or Cena versus Dom Dom. Who is it going to be? But what we're going to be starting today's show off with is that we're going to be starting with the match that ended the night, and I want to hear all of your opinions. Bring them out. Bring them out. Okay? So the first match that we had, obviously, Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, all of them, they won, right? They defeated the Usos. But when I'm looking at the entire match, the thing that I'm looking at with this entire match was this match, the men's WarGames match. This entire match was a Braun Breaker showcase from start to finish. His energy, his entrance, his presence. Braun Breaker put the whole entire company on notice last night. That if you did not think that Braun Breaker was the man, you need to wake up and slap yourself. Braun Breaker, I ain't gonna lie, Braun Breaker had the dopest entrance of everybody last night on WarGames. Just the way that he came out. Just the way that he came out. They followed him outside of the dugout. You see the screens and everything next to him. Look, they called Braun Breaker the badass. Braun Breaker's entrance, it was straight up badass. He put the whole company on notice. There was one thing, though, that was really different about last night. It's something that you don't see often. It's very rare. You know what that was? I'll tell you in a second. Let's go to the chat. So, Universal's here, and he says, hola. He says that it was a horrible show for many reasons. Fernando says, what's up? Universal says 0 matches were good. Damn. Universal, you hated every single match last night on WarGames? Okay. No problem. You know how we do here. We don't roast people for how they feel on their opinions, but all right, that's okay. Universal, it has to be one match, just one match that you thought was halfway decent. Fernando says that it was Universal says that it was a major embarrassment that the biggest attendance ever for Survivor Series was arguably one of the worst. Fernando says that he disagrees with me. Survivor Series told us nothing at all. We saw different Survivor Series show. And you know what? That's why I love it here. We all get the opportunity to speak about what Survivor Series that we saw. I'll explain it to you. And I know that you'll explain to me in the comments as we go along. Universal says the only honorable mention was Dom because it was the only one that was entertaining. All right, I'll take that. Universal agrees with Fernando. It told us nothing because they have no direction right now. Hold on to that. Hold on to that. Universal says that it was chaos backstage all day. I hope they're not going back to the Vince McMahon era, to where they're tearing up scripts right before we go out there. But let me tell you one of the things that was different about last night's WarGames. CM Punk, he took color. Meaning that, there was a little bit of blood in the match. That was something that WWE never lets dudes bleed anymore. It's not what they do. In a match like that, should there have been a little bit of blood? All right, I guess. It's a special occasion. Fine, no problem. Just a little bit of blood, fine. But I feel that any kind of like extra blood, the excessive blood that AEW does, leave that for AEW. Leave that for Jon Moxley. Let it be a bloodbath for him. But with what we got last night, I felt that it was special and it made sense a little bit. People didn't really see where the blood came from. It was kind of from the Claymore right before Cody Rhodes came out, but I think it was effective and it was personally timed. My whole thing about that match, that whole entire match itself, to me, it felt like the 1992 Dream Team. The whole match felt like the Dream Team. You pretty much had your a Michael Jordan, you had a Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen. The reason why I say that whole entire WarGames match, I'm talking about all 10 men from both sides, it felt like the Dream Team because a large portion of that group, they're bona fide stars. You can't even deny that. That's not even a discussion. Yes, they're stars. But there's a portion of the group that was about to become stars. You got your Braun Breaker, your Bronson Reed, your Jimmy Uso, your Logan Paul. Logan Paul, I think, in my opinion, is going to be one of the biggest stars in the WWE. He's not a star yet. He's not on the same exact realm as Jey Uso, who people don't like, and I understand. I was very excited when Brock Lesnar came out and ruined his whole entire Yeet Fest. But Brock Lesnar's a big star. Roman Reigns is a big star. CM Punk is a big star. Drew McIntyre's a big star. That felt like the WarGames. That WarGames felt like the Dream Team to me. Maria's here. So is Stu. Hey, Stu, good video. Stu had a reaction video. Not a reaction video, prediction video to Survivor Series. Make sure you guys check that out. The reason why I always talk about people, somebody asked me, why do you even mention Stu's YouTube account? Simple. Because I don't compete with anybody on YouTube. I do what I do, and I stay in my lane, and Stu does what he does, and he's in his lane. Same exact thing with everybody else that talks about pro wrestling on YouTube. I'm here to give you it from me in my unique fashion, and Stu has his own unique fashion. Go ahead and check him out. Hit the subscribe button. We're all a family here. We're all trying to help each other eat and have fun and do what we love best, and let's talk about pro wrestling. Maria says that Survivor Series was trash. Damn, am I the only one that really liked Survivor Series here? Maria says the men's and women's WarGames was the worst I've ever seen. Stu says that you might be in the minority with this PLE, buddy. Universal says that they were all fighting yesterday backstage about the order of entrance in order to advance storylines. In the end, they decided to majorly push Braun Breaker and only give small spots to other. Maria says that Cena versus Dom stole the show for the rest of the night. The show was garbage. I feel like I'm the only one. Am I the only one? Am I the only one that really liked the WarGames? Right? Like, I watched it again. I watched it last night, and I watched it again this morning while I was getting ready for the show, for today's show. There was one match that I hated, and I'm going to tell you what that is, but we're not there yet. The best part about that men's WarGames match, though, from my opinion, it was the layered chaos. It was Logan Paul and the brass knuckles. It was Cody Rhodes and his dives. Roman Reigns sparing Brock Lesnar through a table with Jey Uso on his shoulders. For me, when I get my WarGames, I want a little bit of chaos. Maria says, which WarGames did I watch? Maria, the WarGames that I watched last night was the one that okay, you know what? Maybe I seen a different WarGames because I was in the UK last night. Everybody mind your business, don't ask. I was in the UK yesterday watching WarGames, and earlier, Stu says, yeah, you're the only one, buddy. Only two things that made feel anything was Liv and the Mystery Man. Earlier, somebody said, I can't remember who, somebody said that there was no direction after this whole entire event. I think there's a little bit of direction. We have breadcrumbs right now. And what I'm talking about is the Mystery Man. Who is the mystery attacker? Here's what I want to talk about with you guys right now. Tell me who you think is the mystery attacker and tell me why. Who is the mystery attacker? When I'm looking at the mystery attacker, remember, I want to know who you think it is. Let me know who the mystery attacker is. For me, when I'm looking at the whole entire thing and I'm sitting there and I go, could it be somebody that came from Paul Heyman? But why would Paul Heyman have to do that? Paul Heyman shouldn't have to bring anybody else out there because Paul Heyman had a team that was stacked. Paul Heyman, if he needed an insurance policy, his insurance policy was Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman's team was stacked. So why would it be somebody from Paul Heyman? Unless Paul Heyman thinks that Brock Lesnar is slowing down and he didn't trust him. I don't know. We know that Paul Heyman likes to trade up to the newest thing, the thing that's going to keep him in business for long. But then the question, then, if it's not him, then who? Who is the mystery attacker? Could it be somebody for Roman Reigns? Because let me tell you about why I think it could be Roman Reigns. The reason why it could be Roman Reigns is because Roman hasn't done much since he's been solo. Since the whole entire thing when the bloodline went left, what has Roman Reigns really done? I'll wait. Nothing. I don't think that Roman Reigns has done anything since he has left the bloodline. Maybe he understands that he was strongest when he had a whole entire army behind him. Look, in case you guys don't know, that Anoa'i family is huge. It could just be another Samoan, right? Every single day somebody gets born into the Samoan dynasty. So do not think for any second that there is a shortage of people in that could be in the bloodline. So if not Roman, then who? Could it be Jey Uso? Now, before you attack me real quick, listen, let me tell you why I think it could be somebody from Jey Uso. I can tell you who it's somebody from. I can tell you who it's somebody who it's not from. It's not from CM Punk, but it could be from Jey Uso. Maybe Jey Uso wants to take a page out of Roman Reigns' book because what does Jey really want? Jey wants to become the World Heavyweight Champion again. That's what he wants. Who has the World Heavyweight Championship? CM Punk. Jey is taking a page out of Roman Reigns' book because Jey understands that when Roman was on top, he was a henchman. So maybe what Jey Uso's doing is building his whole entire team right now. I don't know. I'm about to go get I should probably go get the tinfoil hat and go put the tinfoil hat on. Could it be the same exact person that attacked Jacob Fatu? Could it be LA Knight? You know why I think it could be LA Knight? I'll tell you why I think it's LA Knight. Because LA Knight should have been in that match. They put Jimmy Uso in that match. So, LA Knight almost got screwed on SmackDown, if you saw SmackDown. He's going to be the one that fights John Cena. The thing about that whole entire match was that it could have been anybody involved on the CM Punk, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Roman Reigns, CM Punk side, because there's no real stakes in that match. There's no stakes in that. There's no titles. There was no, you're going to get a shot at WrestleMania. There was none of that. Literally, that match was just a match just to have a match. You guys got a lot to say right now. Let me go into the chat, okay? Because you guys got a lot to say. Universal says in the women's match, they decided to push Becky and AJ. That's what the planned finish was. Universal also says, Tristan, if you like chaos, then where was the chaos in those WarGames matches? There was none. No tables, no chairs, no cares, zip, zero, boring. Who cares? It killed the match. For me, it was chaotic, storyline-wise. Maybe not physicality, but storyline-wise as well, too, because of the story that was in the match itself. For me, I like my stories a little chaotic sometimes. And I felt that everybody in the match, on both sides, They had a reason to why they could be in it for themselves. And it was just watching which way and twist everything would turn. Stu is here leaving his view, and he says the mystery man is Austin Theory. He had the shoulders. It definitely wasn't Rollins. So let me tell you something right now. 100%. 100%. That mystery man is not, under any circumstances, Seth Rollins. It is not Seth Rollins. Could it be Seth Rollins? Look, man, we've been okey doke, flim flam, and bamboozled before. But it's not. I think the person underneath that mask, or as we say in the wrestling business, the hood, the person underneath that hood is going to be the person that is going to have to deal with Seth Rollins when he comes back. You're doing his moves? Could it be Austin Theory? I think 100% it could be somebody like Austin Theory. Look at the back on that brute. Look at the back on that brute. That is not a Seth Rollins back. Respectfully, Seth Rollins is a smaller brother. He's a smaller guy. That is not, under any circumstances, a Seth Rollins. Could it be an Austin Theory? Let me tell you, Austin Theory was supposed to be that guy. He was supposed to be that guy, and ended up not being that guy, right? He's out there running around playing grab ass with, talking about what is that? A Down Under? Nah, that's not what we wanted. We didn't want none of that at all. So is this Austin Theory supposed to be in the Vision? Because in case you don't know, a lot of people were saying Austin Theory was supposed to join the Vision. Austin Theory was supposed to join the Vision. And if anybody reads online, you don't want that to ruin the storylines. That everybody's already releasing storylines and saying, oh, well, it's going to be Austin Theory. You know what? Then you know what? We're not going to give it to you easy anymore. I would not be upset if it's Austin Theory. I wouldn't be. Universal says, why do they have a mystery person? Makes no sense. Yes, it was Austin Theory. Again, makes no sense. I think the reason why they decided that they want to have a mystery person last night is because, and they didn't reveal last night, is because that's not the story that they were trying to close out with. What was the last thing that was said last night at Survivor Series? It was from Roman Reigns. You thought that there was going to be something, some kind of furniture movement between Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso hanging out in the back, and Cody Rhodes. But we didn't get that. Roman Reigns said, this is the last time I'm going to be teaming with you. Now, does this tell a story down the line where Roman Reigns is going to need help and he's going to have to ask Cody Rhodes for help? I don't know. I personally, in my opinion, you guys know me from hanging out with me. You guys know that I think that Cody Rhodes is just a heel. He doesn't even know it yet. I know that he's a heel, and a lot of people just poop on me for that. But are we overthinking this whole entire thing? Or does this mystery person plant a major seed for CM Punk's title hunt? We are, ladies and gentlemen, we are 2 months away. No, not even. We're almost 1 month away from the Royal Rumble. We are getting ready for WrestleMania season. The only big thing that we have to look forward to right now in the WWE is John Cena's retirement, and that comes up on the 13th. Just want to let you guys know, as well, I was a part of a show, Fan versus Hater, and I was on the show, the John Cena episode. That episode should be dropping Friday, so I'm looking forward to seeing that, and I hope that you guys actually like it. I was on that show. It was on a House of Highlights on their channel. They got about 11 million subscribers on their channel. So 11 million. Look, guys, listen. There's going to be a day that's going to be a lot of people in this show where we at. But there's going to be a space for the day ones. I'm going to make a space for the day one so we can still all hang out and you guys don't get drowned out. I promise you that. Let's go to the chat. Fernando says, Karrion Kross is the masked man in my opinion. You know, Fernando, that's not a bad idea. You know what, Fernando? What if it is Karrion Kross? It makes sense for Karrion Kross. What if the story is that WWE didn't think that Karrion Kross was the vision? They didn't see him in the future storyline. And now this is the way he's making his return. What if Karrion Kross was never really released from the WWE? That has been something that I've been running with for a very long time. That Karrion Kross might still be in the WWE. They'll let him do his little thing, and then when he's done with his little book deal, he'll come back. You know what, Fernando? I like that. Okay, so what do you guys want? I'm asking you guys that are watching live or on demand. Tell me right now, in the comments, I want you to type one of two things. Is it Austin Theory, or do you think it is Karrion Kross? Because I'm not going to lie. If it's Austin Theory, I'm like, okay, let's see what we got next here. But if it's Karrion Kross, it's almost like it's about damn time. Let me know what you think. Going through the chat. Universal says that when the Mystery Man debuts, it's supposed to be Solo Sikoa. I hope to baby Jesus that it is not Solo Sikoa. And you know what? Solo Sikoa got his own problems on SmackDown. Did you guys see the end of SmackDown? Solo Sikoa has more problems than Jesus has disciples right now on SmackDown. He's got the Wyatt Six, and the Wyatt Six, they looking for him. They got his number. Universal says, but it was Austin I lost it. It jumped. Universal says it was Austin the outfit. They are going to redo the Bloodline feud in the future before Roman leaves the Mania. Roman has to pass the torch to Solo. Oof. Fernando says that Roman's not turning heel. Punk needs to look cool again. A heel turn would fix that. Okay. Universal says not Karrion Kross, not LA Knight. Stu says LA Knight's a good call, but I don't see it. I like that idea too. Universal says that, and he's the number one person in the chat right now. Universal says that Roman is not turning heel. He will be a face losing to Solo. Fernando says Cody versus Punk or Punk versus Roman at Mania. King Suavita says, I just got in here, but I hope it's not A Theory. But the stomp would have happened to Cody. Should have happened to Cody. Cody needs to get up out of the Bloodline business. Why is he our champion? We need Roman or another star. I agree. Maria again with her hot take. Maria says that WarGames was more like Patty Cake's games. Quinksavito says WarGames was whack. God, really? I'm really the only person that liked WarGames? He said that it was whack. Maria says, you keep hyping up Austin Theory every time. Let it go. It's not him. All right, fine. Okay, so here's what. Okay, so Universal says it was Randy Orton. Randy effing Orton. Okay. He says it was confirmed by a friend. It was Randy Orton. You know what? Look at the back on that brute. Look at the back on that brute. Universal says it was confirmed by a friend, whoever his friend may be, that it was Randy Orton. Looking at that back, could it be Randy Orton? I could see that. I could see that 100%, that it could be somebody like Randy Orton. But here's the question. Why would Randy Orton have to go and cover his face? Why? Why would Randy Orton have to go and cover his face? What's up, Robbie? Why would Randy Orton have to go and cover his face? Randy Orton is the Viper. Granted, you never know when the Viper's going to strike. But why would it have to be Randy Orton? That's another name that's in the mix. A name that I didn't even expect. But I'll tell you this about the whole mystery attacker. In my personal opinion, in regards to the mystery attacker, it felt bigger than the whole entire result of the WarGames match. And you can't convince me any different. John Cena last night versus Dominic Mysterio. Liv Morgan, she made her return. One of the things that I first did was I texted Jess and I said, are you happy? Her girl Liv Morgan came back. But where does Liv Morgan fit now? Liv Morgan, she's joining Dom. For me, this changes everything. Because you got the tension with Roxanne Perez. You got the flirting with Roxanne and Dom. And Dom over there saying that Liv is his girl. The Judgment Days, they're going to be a new struggle in the Judgment Day for power. The woman's dynamic in this whole entire thing, it's not only going to be fun, but it's also going to be messy. This is the match. You guys said that you guys liked this match a lot. This is the match that you guys liked. You guys said that you really liked Dom versus Cena. I'm not going to lie. I like that match too. Maybe not my match of the night. And make sure you guys hold on to your match of the night, wrestle of the night, and moment of the night, because we are going to be talking about that later on. That's what I want to know from you. Dominic Mysterio, regardless of what anybody wants to think, Dominic Mysterio is a bona fide star. He's a bona fide star. The way that they cheer for him, Dominic Mysterio is the one that you love to hate, and it was his whole entire hometown. For Dominic Mysterio, you don't cheer Dominic Mysterio. You boo Dominic Mysterio. And while you're booing him, you're cheering him at the same exact damn time. But now his girl is back. She was not in my bingo card to come back, but she's there. So, you really expect me to believe at this point that Liv is supposed to just come live all hunky-dory with Roxanne Perez and the tall one? Can't remember her name right now. I used to wrestle and get hit on the head. I forget things all the time. My bad. Raquel Rodriguez, that's the name. I don't think that's going to happen. But Liv returning and joining Dom or rejoining Dom, for me, this changes everything. The universe says that his match of the night was Dom versus Cena. Let me tell you why this changes everything for me. Because I'm looking at Dominic Mysterio, I'm looking at the long-term story. Coming out of there, they've been setting up for the long-term story. Here is the long-term story I see WWE telling. And when I'm done, tell me if you want it. Dominic Mysterio, he's going to retire his dad, Rey Mysterio. Maybe it happens at WrestleMania. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. He is going to beat the brakes off his father. His father's going to have to retire. It's going to be the match. You know what? I want to retire you, and I want your match, and you are going to retire. Bye-bye, Dominic. Bye-bye, Rey Mysterio. Thanks for coming. It's nice to have you. Then everybody abandons Dom. Dom is not going to have anybody to watch his back. And who is going to have to save him? His retired dad, Rey Mysterio, is going to have to come back from retirement and help Rey. And help Dom. Look, I see it being a thing where when Dom retires Rey, it's going to be for the mask. 100% it's going to be for the mask. But Rey Mysterio is going to leave feeling disgraced because, in case you don't know, in Lucha Libre culture, your mask is everything. Your mask is your whole entire gimmick. Without your mask, you're just running around naked in the wrestling ring. Rey Mysterio could have a chip on his shoulder because of that. We don't have to worry about Rey Mysterio going into the Hall of Fame because he's already in it. Bye-bye, Rey Mysterio. We don't see him until it's time. At the end of the story, what happens is that Rey Mysterio looks to Dom and say, you know what? I saved you. I got your back. You're always my son. You're going to get that happy moment to where they hug. And Rey's going to look at the mask and say, you know what? You earned it. You're the next Mysterio. Bye-bye. What do you guys think? Robbie Show says that he would love to see Dom versus Rey at WrestleMania. Universal says, Tristan, yes, that is the plan for WrestleMania, Dom versus Ray. Stu says, I'm glad she didn't turn on Dom. It would have made sense if she did because Dom never cheated on her with Roxanne. There was only a tiny bit of flirting on Roxanne's end. Universal says that when Lucha retires, they don't take off the mask, right? But what if Dominic Mysterio is saying, and this is what he's saying, that he is the best. Dominic Mysterio is saying that he is the best Mysterio to ever grace the wrestling ring. And I feel that in Dominic's mind, the pro wrestling world can't survive with another Mysterio, even though there's another, Rey Mysterio out there wrestling. I think he's a nephew or a cousin of Rey Mysterio. Neither here nor there. But what if Dominic feels that not only does he want the mask, he wants Rey Mysterio to leave? That they could spin their whole entire spin on the thing. Or you know what? Universal? What if it's just a retirement match? And at the end, when Rey Mysterio comes back to make that big triumphant return, at the end, he takes off the mask and gives the mask to Dom and says, you're now the next Mysterio. Listen, let me tell you this. I've got a hot take for you that's hotter than grits right now. My hot take is Dominic Mysterio is officially bigger than Rey was at his age. Dom is 28 years old right now today. In 2002, Rey Mysterio was 28 years old. In 2002, Rey Mysterio was making his debut in the WWE after WCW closed. Dominic Mysterio, he's 5 years into his career at 28, while Rey was 13 years into his career by 28. If you ask me, Rey Mysterio didn't get WWE big until 2005 after he finished wrestling with Eddie Guerrero. Dominic Mysterio is he is the biggest Mysterio right now in pro wrestling business. Yeah, no problem. We see Rey Mysterio, that's fine. But the biggest Mysterio right now in pro wrestling is Dom. Universal says that his friend shared with him. That was the start of Randy's heel turn last night. Randy will be turning on Cody. I can't wait for Randy to turn on Cody. Because Randy told Cody out of his mouth, from his mouth to Cody's ears, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. Seeing John Cena at his last PLE last night, John Cena's entrance, it gives me the super chills. The chills like you guys won't even understand. He comes out there and he's just high-fiving all the crowd. And like that, so when John Cena's music hits, and everybody cheers, oh my God, we're getting John Cena. And then John Cena stands at the end of the ramp, everybody at the top of the ramp at the entrance, and everybody comes down. And then when John Cena gives the salute, pulls out the flag, the towel, and starts running, you hear the crowd, they bubble up into a pop. The run, the pop, the nostalgia, all that. I think that I am lucky to be able to see somebody like John Cena from start to finish. Granted, I've seen people start to finish. I've seen Batista start to finish. I've seen other wrestlers in the WWE start to finish, but John Cena is special. 17-time unseen, 17 never seen, unseen world champion, greatest of all time. Right now, we're living in an era right now with John Cena. I think that John Cena losing to Dominic Mysterio, even though I felt that was the easy way out, I feel like John Cena losing to Dominic Mysterio is going to do a lot for Dominic Mysterio's ego. Not only is he the two-time Intercontinental Champion, the two-time NXT North American Champion, the current AAA whatever belt that he has right now, Tag Team Champion. Dominic Mysterio could say that he was the person that beat John Cena in his last premium live event. If that doesn't make him a made man, if that doesn't make Dominic the man, what's going to make him the man? He's out there loosening the boots like Eddie Guerrero. He's got that Eddie Guerrero energy. For me, that's beautifully chaotic. My biggest issue going into the whole entire thing, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, because it's a whole episode in its own, is the Cena, the Last Time Is Now tournament that we got with John Cena. Looking at the brackets right there. That's not the updated brackets, right? Because we didn't know who that mystery man was that was going to be against LA Knight. If you ask me, it should have been Shinsuke Nakamura. That's who it should have been. But what did they do with Shinsuke Nakamura and SmackDown? They put him in the throwaway, 5-on-5 elimination, traditional Survivor Series match just to beat him, just so they can get to Solo Sikoa standing with the Wyatt Six at the end. It shouldn't have been The Miz. But no. Mickie James' husband out there. Yes, I said Mickie James' husband. Sometimes I'm disrespectful. Mickie James' husband out there choosing a replacement like it was rocket science. And The Miz sneaking his name into it because what he is doing, I'm talking about Mickie James' husband, what Mickie James' husband is doing is spending time arguing with R-Truth over R-Truth's balls. The commentary team acknowledged it. There was no reason for them to have to pick another name. The name was already there, look. Either you give LA Knight a bye, because you say Shinsuke lost. Regardless of anything, he lost, so we're not going to give him the opportunity. Give LA Knight a bye, send him in the next match, so it's him versus Jey Uso. We got that same exact result either way. We're going to get LA Knight versus Jey Uso. Why? People like R-Truth and everybody else in there need to protest. Why? The commentary team acknowledged what The Miz did. So nobody else did? Nobody else seen it? The commentary team saw it. You're trying to tell me that everybody's sitting backstage at SmackDown and not one person is busy paying attention to what's going on, that you allowed the Miz to flim-flam, okey-doke, and scam his way into the thing? The Miz was in it already. That's how silly it is to me. The Miz lost to Jey Uso, and then he swindled his name back in there. The question is, why would the Miz be up for discussion to be in the Last Time Is Now? The Miz shouldn't even be. Nick Aldis should have said, wait a minute. The Miz's name shouldn't be in it. And the reason why the Miz's name shouldn't be in it is because he already lost. He already competed in the tournament. If that's the logic they're going on with Shinsuke Nakamura, fine. Shinsuke's not in it because he already lost. Then why was the Miz's name in it? Should have never been in it. Because by Nick Aldis accepting that the Miz's name was in it, I'm assuming that Nick Aldis put all the names in there himself. If Nick Aldis put all the names in there himself, he knew that the Miz was in there. But let's say Nick Aldis didn't put the names in there himself. We're talking kayfabe storyline, and we're in the storyline. We're not talking about, we're in the storyline. Let's say that Nick Aldis, a.k.a. Mickie James' husband, said to somebody else, you know what, put the names in there. They said, who names do you want? He gave the names, but said don't include anybody that lost already. Don't put The Miz, don't put Damian Priest, don't put Shinsuke Nakamura, and don't put Zack Ryder. And R-Truth is back there arguing about putting his balls in the hand of Mickie James' husband. So much that Miz was able to bamboozle and flim-flam his way in there. But here's the thing, and it's a conversation that we've had plenty of times, and I promise you this, we're not having this conversation today. The conversation that we have and can continue to have is who retires John Cena? Is it LA Knight? Is it Solo Sikoa? Is it Jey Uso? Is it Gunther? Who is going to be the one to retire him? That's going to be a conversation that we've had before, and that's going to be a conversation we're going to have in the future. But I'm reminding you to get your match of the night, moment of the night, and rest of the night ready for later on, because I want to see who it is. Let's go to the chat. Universe says that Penta was supposed to beat Solo, but Penta got hurt. Shit happens, right? Let's see. Fernando says that. Wait, Stu agrees with me. All right, finally, there's some kind of agreement. Okay, so besides us thinking that Survivor Series, that I think that Survivor Series was good, and everybody watching this thinks that Survivor Series was not good. At least we agree on something, Stu. Stu said, King Suavito says he agrees. The Miz should have been fought John Cena early in the year. The disrespecting the Miz way too much. The Miz is a main event star in my eyes. I don't know. You ever seen that WrestleMania 27, 26? John Cena versus the Miz? Has anybody ever really gone back and watched that match? Hey, make sure you guys hit the like button. It lets me know that you're alive. Hit the like button. Lets me know if you hit it already, I know that you're alive. Hit the like button and lets me know that you're alive. Stu says they use that truth joke 3 weeks in a row. Why is our truth a joke? Our truth should not be a joke. Fernando says that it's going to be Gunther. So does Universal. I think it could be Gunther as well too. But you know what? We've seen a lot of strange things in the WWE. And one of the strange things I want to talk about is the shortest match of the night. But honestly, it was the longest 12 minutes of my life, and the match that I'm talking about is Nikki Bella versus Stephanie Vaquer. Look. Here's my hot take. You guys want a hot take? I'll give you one. This match only existed to give Vaquer a PLE win. That was it. They just needed somebody that she could beat. That was it. Jess, me and Jess were talking about it last episode, and Jess says that she feels like I'm being misogynistic because I was saying, look, Nikki Bella, if you got something to do today in San Diego around the time that you're supposed to be doing your match, you know what? Go do that. I want to explain this so that everybody understands how I really feel about Nikki Bella. And I'm going to clarify. I'm not being misogynistic. What I'm saying is that I'm talking about Nikki Bella's character. I don't know the woman as a person. She's not the person, the Nikki Bella, whatever her real name is, Nicole, whoever, is not who I see on TV. When I look at the TV, I see Nikki Bella. For me, Nikki Bella's character does nothing for me. For me personally, so much, I don't care if she wins or if she loses. I don't. But when I look at the whole entire match as a whole, let me know if you guys even like this match. We got the poll running right now, and I'm asking, golly, overwhelming. Wow, this is overwhelming. What is your favorite match? Right now, it's leading with Dom versus Cena at 67%, men's War Games at 33%, and nobody cared about the women's War Games or Vaquer versus Bella. If you ask me, though, I think that this match here, Vaquer versus Nikki Bella, I think that it was the correct decision. There's no debate needed. There's nothing else that I got to say more about that match. If you guys see anybody out there trying to trash me because I'm speaking on how I feel about Nikki Bella, you make sure you remind them. I'm talking about Nikki Bella, the wrestler. I'm not talking about Nikki Bella, Nicole, whoever she is. That's not who I'm talking about. Nikki Bella just doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry. After this, after the women's War Games match, we're going to talk about the match of the night, moment of the night, and the rest of the night. That's what's going to be coming up next here on the Tristan Law Show. Just want to remind you guys that Jess will be here tomorrow. I've invented a little hot topic. I didn't realize how much people get upset about this. But the thing that I'm talking about with Jess tomorrow is, should WWE or other pro wrestling companies or even sports run shows during the holiday season? A lot of people are up in arms about that. And you know, we're going to talk about it tomorrow. There'll be another episode on Wednesday. On Friday, I won't be here. But here on the channel is going to be the debut episode of Main Event Conversations with Cheyenne Ortiz. The first guest is going to be beautiful Buddy Thomas. If you don't know who he is, look him up on social media. Beautiful Buddy Thomas. That's T-O-M-A-S. T-O-M-A-S. Beautiful Buddy Thomas. T-O, let me put that in the chat so that you guys got it. Beautiful Buddy Thomas. T-O-M-A-S. That is who will be the person that will be that Cheyenne will be interviewing here live. I decided to give Cheyenne a show on this channel, because the channel, I'm telling you guys now, the Tristan Law Show is going to grow into a network. This is going to be the place where you guys come to get your pro wrestling talk, to where you will always be a part of the conversation. The day that you guys stop being a part of the conversation, you guys email me. TristanLawShowMedia@gmail.com. Give me a call, 973-826-0101. Leave a message on the voicemail. I need to change the voicemail from Streamer Mania, but either way, call that number, send me an email anytime. Anytime. Y'all want to talk? We can talk. So that's what's happening this week on the show. Tomorrow, we are talking about should wrestling run shows during the holidays. Wednesday is going to be another live episode featuring just me. And Friday, where it's going to be the first episode live of Main Event Conversation with Cheyenne Ortiz. I hope you join us. I hope you hit that subscribe button, because to me, we're growing and we're a family here. Nikki's real name is Stephanie, and Stephanie's real name is Stephanie. Okay, right. Stephanie, fine. Maybe it wasn't Nicole. It was Stephanie, fine. Yep, Stephanie. Fernando says that he is sick of people claiming The Miz has been disrespected in the WWE. That's BS. The Miz is lucky he's still around. Maria says back-to-back shows of the Tristan Law Show is awesome. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I do think it's awesome as well, too. Robbie says that I'm not leaving. I support small channels. Bro, I support everybody. And I appreciate you supporting small channels, because every big channel was a small channel. And I'm telling you, there's going to be people that I'm going to be like 5 years, 10 years from now. I'm going to be like, yo, you remember? I remember when you were there. There's going to be a time that we are all going to meet each other, and it's going to be a whole entire thing. And you guys are going to be able to say, you know, here's what I will probably do. And remind me when it's time, because I wrestle and I forget. What I want to do is one day I want to have a live show to where we do the Tristan Law Show live. Maybe doing a WrestleMania, maybe doing a SummerSlam, maybe doing AEW something. And I want to have the front row for day one. If you're at day one, I want you sitting in the front row. I'm talking to Universal. I'm talking to Stu. I'm talking to Robbie. I'm talking to Maria. I'm talking to Cupcake. I'm talking to Heel Vega. I'm talking to Fernando. I'm talking to King Suavito. All you guys that are here while I'm just small, just wait until we get big. Wait until we get big. Maria says that you are a very giving person, Tristan. Look, the way I look at it is that I want to give everybody the opportunity to succeed. I love talking about pro wrestling, and I love giving you guys, the audience, the ability to be a part of the show. To me, that's what I think is most special, that you guys get to be a part of the show. I'm not just talking about pro wrestling to myself. Like, we are having a discussion together. So one of the things that I want to do future down the line is that, yeah, the flagship show is always going to be the Tristan Law Show. Whatever the name of whatever the name I change the channel to. Thinking maybe the TLS network. I don't know. But Cheyenne is going to have his show here, right? There's going to be a show featuring women, all woman cast. All woman cast on the Tristan Law Show, and that's going to be giving pro wrestling from the point of view of a woman. Then there's going to be a show that talks about AEW, because I really don't have the stomach to watch AEW too tough. Leave me alone. Yeah. I'm going to have one that also talks about NXT, TNA, all that. And then I want to have a show that just talks about independent wrestling, because there are so many people on the independent scene. You guys support small creators like me. The people on the indies, and I'm talking about like the beautiful Buddy Thomases, the people that you don't know. Those are the people that are grinding, that are working real hard to make a name for themselves. Those are the people that I want to introduce to you. And that's what the hell we're doing here on the Tristan Law Show. So, and it looks like Robbie has a little channel. So after we're done, Robbie, I'm going to check out your channel, subscribe to your channel. I only subscribe if I plan to watch. So I'm going to watch a couple of your videos or video. And if I like it, I'm going to subscribe. Why the hell not? And you know what? And when your videos are good, ask Stu. I will comment, and I'll even comment here and talk about it, because you know what? We're building a community. Maybe one day you guys say to me, hey, Tristan, I want to, come underneath the Tristan Law Show network and put my channel there. You know what? There's always an opportunity for us all to succeed. But let's talk about that first match. That first match had opened up the night. The match that you guys weren't really too excited for, but you know what? I think that it was a good match to set the exclamation mark, to set the tone for the night. I'm talking about that women's WarGames match. One of the things that stood out to me the most was they didn't have any shark cages in that match. This is the shark cage from last year. Maybe they didn't want the place for the wrestlers to sit there and just do that, but I'm thinking as a wrestler, one of the things that is that when you're in front of the camera, like right now, like when I'm in front of the camera, I'm on. There's no off. I'm just on. And the wrestlers just have to be on. So it gives them a little bit of time backstage to not be on. But I liked that the reason why, in my opinion, the reason why WWE didn't do the shark cages this year is because it wasn't a straight shot from the entrance to the ring. It's in WWE when they run in baseball stadiums, there's always a curve, right, from the entrance to the ring. And I like that the WWE didn't pretend, they didn't ignore it, and what it did for me, it made the pacing better for me. Io Sky out there running around with the trash can on, I don't know, man. I guess that's her tradition. They branded it, they wrote her name on it. I don't know, maybe that'll end up in the Hall of Fame somewhere. But one of the main people that I had my eyes on is this person right here. Becky Lynch. Yes, this is not a political podcast. We don't talk about politics. I'm going to buzz myself in advance. But Becky Lynch is playing her character just like Donald Trump, and you can't convince me otherwise. So listen to why I'm telling you this. When Becky Lynch is posting online, she's posting in all caps. When Becky Lynch is talking to people, she's making up insulting names. She called Michael Cole Misinformation Cole. No, Misinformation Michael. Her confidence, she's delusional. She's great. Let me set the tone real quick. She's great, but she ain't as great as she thinks she is in her head. She denies cheating, and now she's suing the WWE. What I'm telling you is that WWE mirrors America, and Becky, she's full satire. Full satire right now. And I'm enjoying this version of Becky Lynch because, for me, I felt like the regular basic Just the Man or the Last Kicker, that was just a little bit too basic for me. I just need a little bit more. But looking at that same exact picture, there's somebody else in that picture. It's Charlotte Flair. The question is, who the hell is Charlotte Flair when she doesn't have a championship around her waist? Charlotte Flair right now is in her soft girl era. Everybody's saying, who is Charlotte Flair when she doesn't have the championship around her waist? To steal a line directly from Jade Cargill, I'll tell you who the hell Charlotte Flair is. Charlotte Flair is that bitch, if you didn't know. Charlotte Flair is that goat. Okay, fine, maybe she might be a Nepo baby, but can you really sit here and deny that Charlotte Flair hasn't worked for what she's got? You out there just running around handing out stuff to Charlotte Flair? Charlotte Flair is it. Charlotte Flair, in this stage of her career, what she's doing is she is building who she is without the championship, because all we know Charlotte Flair to do is have championships. That's all we know. Kairi Sane, I think Kairi Sane came out. It was real flat. The crowd didn't respond, and she's too tied to Asuka. I think that Kairi Sane has never really made a name for herself as a single star. She has the women's tag team championships, 2 or 3 times, but it was all with Asuka. She was an NXT champion, and that was it. She doesn't really have many singles accolades. The crowd didn't respond too much to her. She needs her own independent identity, and I feel like the way that they book her like a sidekick. AJ Lee, she shines in multi-person matches. And as a semi-retired pro wrestler, I think that's the best place to put her right now. Why? Because it gives her the ability to work up to a single-person match. But the question that I'm asking is, when Becky gets that one-on-one, can she really deliver? AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch is going to be the rivalry of 2026. I said it right now. Kevin says, brother, you said this is the best pay-per-view. Are you drunk? I have not had a drink. King Savita says the WarGames PLE as a whole had good matches. It's just that the fans made the show bad because there was no excitement or energy. These people paying $500 to $6,000 for tickets, they better go crazy and cheer. You're right. You're right.
Thank you.
I want to talk about Lash Legend, though. I said that Kyrie came out flat. You know who else came out flat with no real fanfare or crowd caring? Lash Legend. I think that in this day and age, that hardcore Raw and SmackDown fans don't know who she is. I feel that NXT fans, they shift over to Raw and SmackDown, but not all Raw and SmackDown fans shift over to NXT. I don't think that's any fault of Lash's at all. I think the problem is that she hasn't really gotten a match. No, she hasn't gotten a match since she's been on the main roster. You know, what has it been, 2-3 weeks now? I think that Lash Legend, she is the leader of the next wave of women coming up from the NXT. I think that Lash Legend, it was a good showing for her last night. And if you don't know who the hell Lash Legend is, you definitely learned last night, and you're going to see a little bit more time. Look at that headlock. It's aggressive. Look at that. Lash Legend's going to be that person. Let's go to the chat real quick. We're getting ready to go into your match of the night, moment of the night, and wrestler of the night. I want to hear who it is. You guys can start dropping them now. Let me know your match of the night, moment of the night, and your wrestler of the night. Start dropping those right now, and we'll go with them. I'm getting to them next, trying to give the chat a little bit of love. He said, Kevin said who? I think Kevin is talking about a Lash Legend. If you don't know, you'll know soon. Let's see. Summer. Hey, what's up, Summer? Summer says they played in Lash's face. You know what, Summer? Lash is going to have her coming out party. It's coming. It's coming. I think it was a soft way to introduce her, but obviously I didn't think that Nia Jax would have anybody on her side because, as I've told Jess before, that she can't have any friends. Not Jess. I'm talking about Nia Jax. Everybody that's ever been a friend to Nia Jax has turned their back on her. Look at it. You got Alexa Bliss. They turned into problems. You've got Tiffany Stratton. Where the hell is Tiffany Stratton? But they got problems. So I think that this is a great way to bring her out. And Nia's that girl too. Y'all need to stop sleeping on Nia. But let's go into the match of the night. All right, match of the night for me, the Women's WarGames match. I feel like the Women's WarGames match, I felt that it's the match of the night. It did what it was supposed to do. And what it was supposed to do was set the tone for the whole entire night. It set the tone for the whole entire night and let you know what to expect and let you know what to feel. I think that the men's main event match, it was okay, but I feel like comparing the Women's WarGames matches, even to the WarGames match, the first one in 2019, and so on and so forth, I think that this was the best WarGames match for the women's ever. Right? They had a stacked team. Everybody showed up ready to win and whatnot. Oh, Tiffany's hurt. Okay. Moment of the night for me, the masked person in the men's WarGames match. A lot of you guys weren't too tough on that. A lot of you guys didn't like that too much. But for me, yeah, we think at this point, we think it's Austin. After we had our whole discussion today, we think it's Austin Theory. Some, Fernando said Randy Orton. Some people think that it is Karrion Kross. Just the names. I can tell you who it is not. It's not Seth Rollins. When I tell you that it's not Seth Rollins, just look at the back on this brute. That is not a Seth Rollins back. Could be a Randy Orton back. Could definitely be an Austin Theory back. Maybe Austin Theory went to go work out. But the best thing about this is that it doesn't, the person underneath that mask, it doesn't have to be them. It could be anybody. They could change it up in a few weeks and say this is who it is. It could have been a stand-in. Maybe they know that somebody's coming back. Maybe they want to be Seth. Maybe. What if it's Chris Jericho? Now people are saying it's not Chris Jericho's body. Fine. But what if this person is tied to Chris Jericho? things that we have to talk about. Fernando said Karrion Kross. No, Fernando said he said Karrion Kross. Universal said Randy Orton. My bad. Wrestler of the night. My wrestler of the night is Dom Mysterio. The reason why I think that Dom Mysterio is my wrestler of the night is because, you know, Dom has surpassed his dad. Dom is a huge star. Dom is the person that you love to hate. And they call Dominic Mysterio, they call Rey Mysterio, they call John Cena Big Match John. Dom Mysterio is Big Match Dom. Because just like John Cena was able to show up every single time, even though we couldn't see him, see what I did there? Dominic Mysterio, he shows up every time, and he always delivers. That's what I think. To close you guys up real quick, looking at the poll, overwhelmingly, everybody loved Dom versus Cena. In the chat, Savita said the problem with the pay-per-view is if they made WarGames 2 nights, then they can have more matches in both nights and more title defenses, so you get the women on night 1 and the men on night 2. You're right. Also, like, where's Jade Cargill? What's happening with Jade Cargill? That's a comment that we have. That's a comment that I have. Why was Jade Cargill not on the PLE? She's a big champion. Why was she not in that women's WarGames match? Watching SmackDown. Is she a heel? Is she a face? I don't know. Maybe she doesn't even know. Summer says, I miss when Survivor Series was brand versus brand. And what they've done so far, Summer, is that they have taken it that there's not even a brand anymore. Everything is just so fluid now. You could show up in Raw and SmackDown just because. Just because somebody decided you could show up on Raw and SmackDown, because we haven't gotten a brand, a draft in what, 2 years? 2 years now? Fernando says, no way Dom has been surpassed. Has Dom surpassed his dad, Ray? That was disrespectful. It's true, though. I said it before. At 28, Rey Mysterio was not doing what Dom Mysterio was doing. Was Rey Mysterio a star? He wasn't a Dom Mysterio star. He was a Dom Mysterio style star. He was in WCW. They took his mask off of him. WCW went out of business, and then he showed up to WWE. Am I saying that Rey Mysterio's not a bigger star? I'm not saying that Rey Mysterio's not a big star. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying Dom Mysterio at 28 years old is 5 years into his career. Rey Mysterio at 28 years old was 13 years into his career. Go back and watch. Go back and watch. Tell me that Dom Mysterio is not a bigger star than his dad. Dom Mysterio has done more in 5 years than Rey Mysterio did in 13.
Yeah!
Has Rey ever been a double champ? You're right. Never. That's what Summer says. Maria says, you just spit on the legacy of Rey Mysterio. No. I did not spit on the legacy of Rey Mysterio. I'm not saying that he's not a GOAT. What I am saying is that every now and then, when we have discussions, I need to leave a little bit on the table so that we have something to talk about for next time. But this was our Survivor Series WarGames 2025 recap. I want to shout everybody out. Maria, Universal, King Suavito, Summer, who joined late, Fernando, everybody. Stu, who likes to drop his wrestling views. Robbie, I'm going to go check out your channel right when I'm done with this. Robbie, thank you so much for joining us. I'll be back tomorrow at noon, right here on the Tristan Law Show. Thank you so much for joining us.
I've been living life right.
I love to hear your hot takes and your reactions to what's going on. Don't forget, Friday's going to be the first episode of Main Event Conversations with Cheyenne Ortiz. Tomorrow at noon, like I said, Jess and I will be back. We're talking about should WWE run shows on Christmas. Call me. Text me. 973-826-0101. Email me. TristanLawShowMedia@gmail.com. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you next time.
Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless.